Ladies and gentlemen, prepare your hearts, because we are about to cross the line between the idol image and the raw, unfiltered human reality. We see them smiling on red carpets, glittering under stadium lights, and acting perfect in music videos. But have you ever stopped to wonder, who are these 7 men when the director finally yells, "Cut"? Are they truly the angels we see, or is there a hidden depth, a secret temperament, or a shocking habit that only those breathing the same air as them get to witness? We have scoured through obscure staff interviews, bodyguard accounts, hidden camera backstage moments, and the members' own accidental confessions to bring you the truth. From the scary professionalism of the brightest member to the unexpected fragility of the strongest, this is the deep dive that will change how you see them forever. Are you ready to meet the real BTS? Let's unlock the files. Number 7. J-Hope, the terrifyingly professional shadow behind the sunshine, the true boss of the practice room. You think you know Jungkook as the eternal sunshine, the human vitamin, the man who introduces himself as "I'm your hope," but let me tell you, that is merely the surface of an ocean so deep and intense it commands absolute fear and respect from everyone around him. If you dig into the accounts of trainees, backup dancers, and even the BTS members themselves, a chillingly impressive truth emerges. J-Hope is not just the mood maker, he is the discipline master, the terrifying general of the performance, and perhaps the most professional perfectionist in the entire industry. And this duality is what makes him arguably the most crucial pillar of the group's success. Let's rewind to the early days, back to the sweaty, oxygen-deprived air of the big-hit basement practice rooms, where the legend of Teacher Jung began. While RM is the leader who handles the business and public speaking, insiders have revealed time and time again that when the doors close and the music starts, J-Hope is the absolute authority. We have seen glimpses of this in documentaries like Burn the Stage, but the unedited reality is even more intense. Staff members have noted that J-Hope has what they call the glare, a sudden shift in his eyes where the smile vanishes instantly if a move is executed lazily or if the synchronization is off by even a millisecond. It's not about anger, it's about a lethal level of dedication to the craft. V and Jungkook have both admitted on camera that when they make a mistake on stage, they aren't afraid of the audience or the managers. They're terrified to look at J-Hope because they know he saw it. Think about the pressure and the power required to hold that kind of influence. One famous anecdote from a former trainee detailed how J-Hope would watch everyone's steps with hawk-like precision, pausing the music to correct the angle of a hand or the placement of a foot, transforming from the laughing young into a strict instructor instantly. This isn't just about being strict, it's about the burden he carries. He is the dance leader, and in the cutthroat world of K-pop, performance is everything, so he sacrifices his own comfort to ensure the team survives. But here is where the edutainment aspect gets truly emotional. This scary side is actually his greatest act of love. He scolds because he cares. He pushes them because he knows their potential. There is a heartbreaking beauty in the fact that the member who laughs the loudest is also the one who observes the sharpest. Close staff have mentioned that J-Hope is the most observant member. He notices when a member's energy is slightly off, not just in dancing, but in spirit, and he's the first to adjust the atmosphere. He manages the group's chaotic energy, often acting as the bridge between the younger and older members. When they're exhausted at 3 a.m. shooting a music video, it is J-Hope who rallies them, not just with cheers, but with a professional drive that says, "We do this right or we don't do it at all." This reveals a personality type that is incredibly rare, the pragmatic optimist. He doesn't just hope for the best, he works harder than anyone to ensure the best happens. We also have to talk about his cleanliness and organization, which staff have raved about. In a dorm of 7 messy boys, J-Hope's space was always described as sanctuary-like, proving that his mind is as organized as his choreography. When you combine all these testimonials, the fear from the members when they mess up, the respect from the choreographers who trust him to lead, and the adoration from staff who see his politeness even when he's exhausted, you realize that J-Hope is the spine of BTS. He holds them upright. Without his scary side, the perfect synchronization of BTS simply wouldn't exist. He's the one who watches the monitor when everyone else is sleeping. He's the one who memorizes everyone else's blocking. So the next time you see him smiling brightly on stage, remember the shadow of the general behind that smile, the man who built their reputation with sweat, blood, and an uncompromising standard of excellence that scares even the people closest to him. Isn't it fascinating how the brightest light casts the sharpest shadow? That is the complex, undeniable reality of Jungkook.
Number 6. Jin, the silent aristocrat hiding behind the mask of a clown, the genius who plays the fool to save the team. If you think you know Kim Seok-jin as simply worldwide handsome, the man who blows flying kisses and cracks dad jokes to lighten the mood, then you have been successfully deceived by one of the most brilliant emotional geniuses in the history of K-pop. The accounts from those who have lived, worked, and breathed the same air as Jin paint a picture of a man so drastically different from his variety show persona that it almost feels like a plot twist in a psychological thriller. While we see the loud, bickering, fake Maknae, staff members, makeup artists, and industry insiders consistently describe Jin as the most quiet, serious, and aristocratic member when the cameras are off. It is a shocking revelation that completely flips the script on his character arc. Let's delve deep into the testimonies that expose the Shadow Hyung. Multiple staff members from Law of the Jungle and various variety shows have gone on record stating that Jin is surprisingly introverted, incredibly polite, and possesses an aura of refined elegance that commands immediate respect without him having to say a word. He doesn't demand attention, he commands it through silence. But why the act? Why does the eldest member, the one who should be enforcing hierarchy in a strict Korean society, choose to let the younger members tease him relentlessly? This is where the heartbreakingly beautiful edutainment fact comes in. Jin's behavior is a calculated, selfless sacrifice for the sake of the group's longevity. Psychologists might call this social buffering, where one individual absorbs the tension to protect the group dynamic. Jin realized early on that if he acted like a typical strict older brother, Hyung, RM, who was younger but the leader, would struggle to lead him, and the younger members would walk on eggshells. So what did he do? He essentially lowered himself. He became the clown so the others could feel comfortable. He destroyed the hierarchy to build a family. There is a verified story from a former trainee who witnessed Jin taking Jungkook, who was extremely shy and homesick in the early days, to restaurants and paying for meals out of his own allowance, driving him to school and essentially raising him. This wasn't the loud Jin we see on Run BTS. This was Seok-jin, the caretaker. Furthermore, let's talk about the ice cream incident mentioned by staff, or the times he quietly paid for staff meals without any fanfare. His generosity is legendary, but it's done in the shadows. He's the only member who consistently wakes up early to cook for the others during their reality shows, not for screen time, but because he genuinely worries about them being fed. Can you imagine the mental fortitude it takes to practice dancing for hours when you had zero background in it? To be told you adjust the visual and then to quietly work until your vocals become the most stable silver voice in the industry. His vocal trainer admitted that Jin is the hardest worker, the one who practices when no one is watching. The most emotional proof of his true nature came during the 2018 Mama Awards. Remember that? While the other members were crying, it was Jin who took the microphone and admitted to the world that they had considered disbanding. That moment shattered the illusion of the happy logo guy. It showed a man who carries the deepest burdens, the one who initiates the hard conversations that keep the group together. He absorbs the darkness so the younger ones can shine in the light. He is not just funny, he is arguably the most emotionally intelligent member of BTS, a man who hides his sorrow and exhaustion behind a windshield wiper laugh just to make sure the team keeps moving forward. He is the foundation that never shakes, the silence that holds the melody together. Isn't it terrifyingly admirable? The man who acts the least mature is actually the most grown up of them all. That is the devastatingly perfect truth of Kim Seok-jin.
Number 5. Sugar. The frozen exterior that hides a volcano of tears. The silent guardian who loves without a word. If you have ever looked at Min Yoongi and felt a shiver down your spine because of his savage remarks, his seemingly lethargic attitude, or his brutally honest lyrics that cut deeper than a knife, then you have only seen the armor, not the knight underneath. Prepare to have your heart completely melted, because the testimonies from those who have spent over a decade with him reveal a man who is the complete opposite of his cold city man image. While the world sees a Gus D, the fierce rapper who spits fire and critiques society with a tongue sharper than a razor blade, the members and staff see a man so incredibly tender, so softly fragile, and so deeply caring that it brings tears to their eyes. This is the classic tsundere archetype, brought to life but with a level of realism and pain that makes it iconic. Let's travel back to the gritty streets of Daegu and the cramped dorms of Seoul to understand the sugar that cameras rarely catch. The edutainment analysis here is fascinating. Psychologists would describe him as having a hard shell to protect a soft core, a defense mechanism born from years of struggle, depression, and anxiety, which he has bravely battled and spoken about. But it's the little, unnoticed actions that scream his love. There is a legendary story that perfectly encapsulates his character, the water bottle incident. During a fan sign or a break in filming, when a member is coughing or thirsty, Sugar doesn't make a scene. He doesn't ask, "Are you okay?" loudly for the cameras. Instead, he silently grabs a water bottle, unscrews the cap slightly to make it easier to open, slides it across the table without even looking at the person, and continues staring at his phone. This is the Min Yoongi way. He loves in silence because he finds words embarrassing. Staff members have shared countless anecdotes of him quietly buying meals for trainees who were starving, paying for their transport, or fixing broken items in the dorm without taking any credit. Remember the time J-Hope mentioned he was alone in the dorm on New Year's Eve? It was Suga who called him, asked if he was okay, and then, in a twist that sounds like a K-drama script, showed up with chicken because he couldn't bear the thought of his little brother being lonely. That is not the action of a cold man. That is the action of a man whose heart is too big for his body. And we cannot forget the most heartbreaking revelation of all, the shoulder injury. For years, he hid the pain of a severe accident he suffered while working as a delivery boy during his trainee days, terrified that he would be cut from the debut lineup if he showed weakness. He suffered in silence, rapping through the agony, dancing through the dislocation, all to protect the dream of the team. When he finally revealed this truth in his documentary, it shattered the hearts of millions, but it also proved his terrifying loyalty. He endured physical torture so BTS could exist. Furthermore, insiders have noted that he is the father of the group in a practical sense. While Jin is the maternal figure who feeds them, Suga is the paternal figure who fixes the light bulbs, repairs the toilets, and manages the finances in realistic expectations of the group. He is the grounding force. When the members get too excited or unrealistic, Suga pulls them back to earth, not to crush their dreams, but to protect them from the pain of failure. His love is protective. It is fierce. It is the kind of love that says, "I will take the hit so you don't have to." Even his lyrics, which can seem dark, are actually letters of comfort to those who are suffering, telling them it's okay to not have a dream and it's okay to fall. He uses his own scars to heal others.
Isn't it profoundly moving? The man who acts like he doesn't care is actually the one who cares the most, observing every detail, remembering every birthday, and silently supporting the structure of BTS from the shadows. He is the silent producer in the Genius Lab, burning the midnight oil while the others sleep, crafting the melodies that will conquer the world. He is the stone that the members lean on when the waves of fame get too high. So the next time you see him with that stoic face, look closer. Look at his hands that are always busy helping someone. Look at his eyes that soften when he looks at the younger members. You are looking at a man who would burn the world down to keep his family warm. That is the raw, undeniable, and heartbreakingly beautiful truth of Min Yoongi.
Number 4. RM. The clumsy giant with the brain of a philosopher, the leader who needs protecting more than anyone else. If you visualize Kim Namjoon as the intimidating English-speaking genius with an IQ of 148 who stands at the United Nations podium delivering speeches that move the entire world to tears, then you are only seeing the statue, not the man chipping away at the stone. The reality of RM is a paradox so baffling and endearing that it defies all logic of what a leader should be, creating a dynamic that is famously described by fans and members alike as God gave him everything, height, intelligence, talent, leadership, but decided to take away his hands to be fair. When the cameras stop rolling and the suits come off, the president of Army transforms into a chaotic, clumsy, nature-loving giant who arguably needs more supervision than the youngest member of the group. This is the shocking edutainment revelation. High intelligence does not equate to high survival skills. Staff members have leaked stories that would make you question how he survives a single day without the other 6 members. We are talking about the man who has famously lost over 33 pairs of AirPods, a statistic that is both hilarious and concerning, and who has lost his passport so many times that the staff actually holds onto it for him like he is a child on a field trip. The members have gone on record stating that for the sake of world peace, RM is forbidden from driving and forbidden from cooking. Remember the legendary moment when he tried to cut an onion? It wasn't just bad, it was a hazard to society. But here is where the story shifts from comedy to a profound emotional narrative. Why do the members tolerate this clumsiness? Because they know the immense weight he carries in his mind. The god of destruction destroys physical objects, sunglasses, stage props, figurines, because his brain is operating on a plane of existence that is constantly analyzing, creating, and worrying about the future of the group. He breaks things in the physical world because he is busy fixing things in the abstract world. Insider accounts reveal that while he relies on the members for daily tasks, like tying his shoelaces or finding his glasses, the members rely on him for their very souls. He is the philosophical anchor. When the group faces a scandal or crisis, it is RM who absorbs the initial impact. He reads the hate comments so the others don't have to. He translates the difficult questions in interviews to protect them from saying the wrong thing. He is the shield of BTS. Yet the most beautiful aspect of his true nature is his obsession with the small, innocent things in life, a phenomenon now coined globally as Namjooning. While other superstars might spend their off days at exclusive clubs or buying luxury cars, RM is spotted by fans riding a bicycle, darengi, along the Han River, visiting quiet art galleries, or literally crouching down on the ground to look for crabs. Yes, crabs. This 181-centimeter global icon gets excited over small crustaceans. This behavior is a desperate, necessary attempt to hold on to his humanity in an industry that tries to turn him into a product. Staff have noted that he is incredibly introspective, often seen reading difficult books in waiting rooms while chaos ensues around him. He is a poet trapped in an idol's life. He feels things deeply, too deeply.
The lyrics of Spring Day or Wild Flower didn't come from a calculated hitmaker. They came from a man who understands loneliness and the fleeting nature of youth. He acts tough to lead, but inside, he is just a young man from Ilsan who loves nature and wants to be understood. The members know this. That's why when he breaks a table, they don't get angry. They laugh and fix it for him. It's their way of saying, "You lead us through the storm, so we will clear the path for your clumsy feet." It is a symbiotic relationship of pure love. He protects their dreams, they protect his reality. Isn't it incredibly moving? The strongest man in K-pop is also the one who is most likely to trip over his own feet, proving that you don't have to be perfect to be a leader, you just have to be real. That is the clumsy, brilliant, and heartbreakingly human truth of Kim Namjoon.
Number 3. Jimin, the angel who hides a blade of perfection, the man who nearly vanished before he even began. If you look at Park Jimin and see only the mochi, the fluffy, smiling angel who comforts members with a warm hug and whose eyes disappear into crescents when he laughs, then you are missing the most terrifyingly inspiring story of survival in K-pop history. Behind that soft, ethereal exterior lies a level of grit, determination, and self-discipline that borders on masochism, a trait so intense that the other members have openly expressed fear and awe of his work ethic. While the world calls him a natural-born genius of dance, the edutainment truth is far more painful and profound. Jimin is the ultimate effort monster, a man who sculpted himself from nothing but sweat and desperation. Let's unlock the hidden files of his trainee days, a period so dark and uncertain that it still haunts him. Did you know that Jimin was the member most likely to be kicked out of BTS? Not once, not twice, but 8 times. The agency, Big Hit, didn't see his potential initially. He was a contemporary dancer, flowing like water, but the idol industry required sharp robotic popping and locking. He was told he didn't fit. He was told to go home. Can you imagine the psychological torture of being on the edge of a cliff every single day? But instead of giving up, Jimin unleashed a side of himself that staff members describe as scary. He stopped sleeping. He would practice until 4 a.m., sleep for 2 hours in the practice room or the vocal booth, and wake up at 6 a.m. to go to school. Jeon and Jungkook have testified that they would wake up in the middle of the night to find Jimin doing sit-ups or reviewing choreography videos, his eyes bloodshot but burning with a fire that refused to die. This isn't just hard work, this is a battle for survival. He turned his body into a weapon. Staff have revealed that during the blood, sweat, and tears era, he practiced the blindfolded dance part until he could do it by sensing the air pressure changes around him, a level of proprioception that is scientifically baffling. But the edutainment tragedy here is his severe perfectionism. He is his own worst critic. We have seen moments in documentaries where his voice cracks slightly, a mistake no one in the audience noticed, and backstage he is devastated, crying as if he ruined the entire concert. He punishes himself for imperfections that only he can see. This reveals a personality type known as the maladaptive perfectionist, where the drive to be perfect causes immense emotional distress. Yet, this is also his superpower. He meticulously notes down every mistake in a journal on his phone, reviewing them like a scholar studying for a final exam. He doesn't just want to be good, he wants to be undeniable. Even his dietary habits have been a topic of concern and admiration. He is admitted to going days with minimal food to achieve the perfect look for a comeback, a dangerous dedication that shows just how far he is willing to go for the fans. But let's talk about the angel side again, because the contrast is what makes him number 3. Despite his own internal war, he is the emotional support dog of the group. When V is crying, Jimin is there. When RM is stressed, Jimin is the first to notice. He pours all his pain into empathy. Staff members often say that Jimin is the most polite idol they have ever met, greeting everyone with a 90-degree bow, even when he is about to collapse from exhaustion. He remembers the names of security guards. He asks about the writer's health. He is a man who knows what it feels like to be at the bottom, so he treats everyone like they're at the top.
The Promise song he released wasn't just a gift to fans, it was a promise to himself to stop being so hard on himself, a moment of vulnerability that shattered us all. He is a contradiction, soft as a feather, but tough as steel. He is the member who was told he couldn't sing, so he practiced until he became the lead vocalist with the most unique tone in Korea. He was told his dancing was too feminine, so he made it his signature style that no one can replicate. He didn't just survive the cutthroat industry, he rewrote the rules of what a male idol can be. The next time you see him perform Serendipity or Set Me Free, don't just see the grace, see the years of bleeding feet, the nights of crying in the studio, and the terrifying will of a man who refused to disappear. He is the proof that hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. That is the devastatingly inspiring and beautiful truth of Park Jimin.
Number 2, V. The enigmatic genius trapped in a Renaissance painting, the social butterfly who is actually the loneliest soul. If you look at Kim Tae-young and simply see CGV, the man with the face that science has declared the most handsome in the world, or the 4D member who makes weird faces and speaks in Tay-Tay language, then you are tragically missing the point of his existence. Because V is not just an idol, he is a living, breathing artistic paradox who operates on a frequency that ordinary humans struggle to comprehend. The industry insiders, the veteran camera directors, and the seasoned journalists who have met thousands of celebrities all agree on one terrifyingly beautiful fact: there is no one else like him. He is a glitch in the matrix of K-pop. While other idols are trained to be perfect products, V was born to be a raw, unfiltered masterpiece of emotion. Let's shatter the alien stereotype right now. Calling him weird is a lazy way to describe a genius. The edutainment analysis here points to a personality type known as a lateral thinker, or a highly sensitive person, HSP. He doesn't see a straight line from A to B, he sees the colors, the sounds, and the hidden meanings in between. This is the man who looked at the color purple, a color often associated with bruising or darkness, and reinvented it into Bora Hey, I Purple You, a global philosophy of trust and everlasting love that has been used by UNICEF and world leaders. Think about the intellectual creativity required to do that. He didn't just make a slogan, he created a language of love that millions use today. But the testimonies from those closest to him reveal a side that is heartbreakingly pure. Staff members have shared stories that would make you weep. Unlike many stars who retreat into their dressing rooms, V is the one who wanders off to make friends with the cleaning staff, the child actors, or even the stray dogs on set. There is a famous account of him playing with a child on a commercial set for hours, not for the cameras, but because his soul genuinely connects better with the innocent than with the industry elites. He has a social butterfly reputation, known for having a celebrity phone book that rivals a Hollywood agent. But have you ever asked why he seeks so many connections? The members have hinted at a deep, cavernous loneliness that sits within him. In his self-composed track Blue and Gray, he confessed to feelings of depression and burnout, asking, "Where is my angel?" It was a cry for help that revealed the happy V was masking a man who feels everything 10 times more intensely than the average person. When he gets hurt, he shatters. When he loves, he pours his entire being into it. Remember the dumpling incident with Jimin? It wasn't just a fight about food, it was a clash of his free spirit against the rigid structure of idol life. He fights for his authenticity. Furthermore, let's talk about his old soul. While the others listen to hip-hop or pop, V is the one playing jazz records, appreciating Vincent van Gogh and dressing like a gentleman from the 1920s. This isn't a concept, it is his refuge. He finds comfort in the past because the present is too loud for his sensitive ears. A bodyguard once mentioned that V is the most unpredictable member to protect, not because he is rebellious, but because he will suddenly stop in the middle of a busy airport just to look at a flower or wave at a crying fan. He refuses to be rushed by the world. He forces the world to slow down to his pace. This my pace attitude is what makes him the secret weapon of BTS. When the group gets too mechanical, V injects chaos and soul. When the choreography is too perfect, V adds a unique gesture that goes viral. He is the variable X. And we must touch upon his acting. He is the only member to have debuted as an actor in a drama, Harang, and the cast members, legendary actors like Park So-joon and Park Hung-sik, adopted him as their little brother immediately. Why? Because he has zero pretense. He doesn't act like a star. He acts like a human who is desperate to learn. He disarms people with his blank expression, which is actually a look of deep contemplation. He's constantly observing, constantly feeling. Even his photography hobby, under the name Vanti, shows a perspective of the world that is melancholy yet hopeful. He photographs the backs of people, the gray skies, the quiet moments, proving he sees beauty in what others ignore. The staff at Hybe have noted that V is the member who will send them long, emotional text messages just to say thank you for working hard or to share a song he likes. He treats the staff not as employees, but as fellow humans. He is the most human of them all. So the next time you see him making a silly face or giving a nonsensical answer in an interview, don't laugh at him. Realize that he is protecting his inner child in a world that wants him to grow up too fast. He is the boy who grew up under the spotlight but kept his heart in his grandmother's garden. He is the soulful, eccentric, and devastatingly beautiful storm that is Kim Tae-young.
Number 1. Jungkook, the golden Maknae who was raised by 6 fathers, the humble giant who conquered the world in his sleep. Ladies and gentlemen, we have finally arrived at the summit, the absolute peak of our list. And the truth we're about to uncover is not just shocking, it is the most beautiful sociological experiment in the history of music. If you look at Jungkook and see the golden Maknae, the tattooed global pop star who performed at the World Cup and broke every streaming record in existence with 7 and golden, then you are merely looking at the final product, not the miraculous process that built him. The industry insiders, the veteran vocal trainers, and the producers who have watched him grow from a 15-year-old middle schooler into a global icon all agree on one terrifyingly emotional fact. Jungkook is not just a member of BTS. He is the living, breathing DNA of all 6 other members combined. He is the sponge who absorbed RM's philosophy, Jin's chaotic confidence, Suga's musicality, J-Hope's rhythm, Jimin's perseverance, and V's artistic soul, creating a superhuman idol who defies the laws of nature. But let's strip away the golden title and look at the edutainment reality of the boy behind the fame. Staff members have revealed a side of him that is heartbreakingly pure and unexpectedly domestic. While the world sees a sex symbol, the people closest to him describe him as a giant baby who is obsessed with laundry, scents, and cooking. Yes, the man who owns a black card and could buy entire islands is most happy when he is folding clothes or boiling ramen at 3 a.m. This is the shocking duality of Jungkook. Let's go back to the origin story that sounds like fiction but is 100% fact. Did you know that the main vocalist of BTS was once so incredibly shy that he would cry if asked to sing? The directors at Big Hit have confirmed that during his trainee days, Jungkook would hide in the bathroom or crouch behind the sofa, terrified of the spotlight. It took the nurturing, patience, and love of his 6 youngs or older brothers to coax him out of his shell. He didn't just join a group, he was raised by them. This is why he is the most emotional member when it comes to the group's bond. Remember the Burn the Stage documentary? When Jungkook collapsed backstage from exhaustion in Chile, refusing to use a respirator until the very last second, it wasn't for fame, it was because he was terrified of disappointing his brothers and the fans. His perfectionism is lethal. He treats every single performance as if it is his last on earth. Insiders have noted that after concerts, while others are celebrating, Jungkook is often found in a corner, re-watching his performance on a tablet, analyzing every breath, every step, critiquing himself for things no human eye could even see. This is the monk-like discipline hidden behind his bunny smile. But let's talk about his relationship with the staff, because this is where the personality reveal gets truly tear-jerking. Despite being one of the most famous men on the planet, staff members from music shows and variety sets consistently rank Jungkook as the most polite idol in the industry. There are viral fan cam moments where you can see him helping the staff pick up trash from the stage floor after the Idol Athletics Championships, ISAC, or helping cameramen coil heavy cables. He doesn't see himself as a star, he sees himself as a part of the crew. He bows 90 degrees to everyone, from the CEO to the cleaning lady. And then there's the Weverse live era. Who else but Jungkook would turn on a live stream from millions of people just to fold his underwear, wash dishes, or literally fall asleep for 45 minutes while 6 million people watch him snore? This isn't a calculated PR move. This is his raw, unfiltered trust in ARMY. He treats the fans not as consumers, but as close friends he can hang out with in his pajamas. He shattered the mystique of the idol to give us the human. And we cannot forget his love for food. The Jungkook recipe phenomenon, from perilla oil noodles to bulgogi, show a man who finds genuine joy in the simple act of eating and sharing that joy. He is a multi-millionaire who gets excited about a buy one get one free sale at the convenience store. This relatability is his superpower. He is the boy who left home at 15 to chase a dream, missing out on a normal adolescence, yet he retained his innocence. He has stated in interviews, "I am a manifestation of all the members." When he speaks, you hear RM's articulate pauses. When he laughs, you hear Jin's windshield wiper squeak. When he dances, you see J-Hope's precision. He is the ultimate masterpiece of BTS. The most heartbreakingly beautiful truth is that despite conquering the world as a solo artist, his biggest dream is simply to be with his members again in 2025. He is the king who would gladly give up his crown just to be the Maknae again. So the next time you see him dominating the stage, remember, you are not just looking at a star, you are looking at a miracle of love, hard work, and humility that the world will never see the likes of again. That is the undeniable, golden, and eternal truth of Jungkook.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We have journeyed through the laughter, the tears, the hidden struggles, and the terrifyingly beautiful realities of the 7 men who conquered the world not with weapons, but with their bare hearts. We started with the disciplinarian J-Hope and ended with the miraculous amalgamation that is Jungkook. But if there is one final edutainment truth to take away from this deep dive, it is this: BTS is not a K-pop group. They are a sociological miracle. Think about the statistical improbability of it all. What are the odds that 7 strangers, a poetic leader from Ilsan, a selfless eldest brother from Gwacheon, a stoic genius from Daegu, a sunny perfectionist from Gwangju, a hard-working angel from Busan, a soulful artist from Gachang, and a golden prodigy also from Busan would find each other in a small, struggling agency, survive the brink of disbandment, and rise to become the princes of pop? It is a story that defies every algorithm in the music industry. We often look at their awards, their Grammy nominations, and their sold-out stadiums, but today we looked at their scars. We saw that their perfection is not natural. It is built on sleepless nights, hidden injuries, and the crushing weight of expectations. We learned that their smiles are often shields protecting their brothers. We discovered that the idols we worship are actually just young men who are terrified of making mistakes, desperate to be loved, and incredibly, painfully human. The true magic of BTS isn't their synchronization on stage, it's their synchronization of spirit. It's Jin lowering his ego to raise the mood. It's Suga suffering in silence to keep the beat going. It's RM breaking himself to protect the team. It's J-Hope being the villain in the practice room so they can be heroes on stage. It's Jimin starving for perfection. It's V slowing down time to find beauty. It's Jungkook absorbing every lesson to become the best of them all.
They are 7 jagged puzzle pieces that shouldn't fit together, yet somehow they create a picture of absolute harmony. So, to every army watching, reading, and feeling this right now, take pride in who you support. You didn't just fall in love with pretty faces or catchy melodies. You fell in love with resilience. You fell in love with kindness. You fell in love with the story of 7 underdogs who proved that you don't have to be perfect to be a legend. You just have to be together. As they famously say, teamwork makes the dream work. The cameras may turn off, the lights may fade, and the makeup may be wiped away, but the bond they share, and the bond they share with you, is the one thing that will never rust, never break, and never die. This has been the Real Personality Files of BTS. They are not just bulletproof Boy Scouts, they are the boys who walked through the fire and came out holding hands. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And remember, in a world that tries to make you like everyone else, be like BTS. Be fearlessly, unapologetically, and beautifully yourself.